The NBA 2K25 MyCareer Storyline is finally here, and I'm not gonna lie, the MyCareer story is looking crazy this year. There was so many new features confirmed, including brand new trash talk responses, which I'm gonna get more into later in the video. This video did take a while to put together, so if you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you could like and sub to the channel. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into the MyCareer Storyline. So first off, your My Player this year is named MP once again. So we do have the same name, but the story is completely different. So your My Player is born in Chicago, and all your My Player wants to do is follow in Michael Jordan's footsteps. Since he's from Chicago, he wants to fill the shoes of Michael Jordan and build a better dynasty than Michael Jordan ever had. Your My Player's mindset is building a dynasty that lasts for ages. That is quoted from 2K. That's exactly what they said. So you definitely have some pretty big shoes to fill. You're gonna have to win probably 7 championships if you want to pass Michael Jordan. And the journey to doing that is not going to be easy because, as y'all know, if y'all played NBA 2K24, you started immediately. You had GOAT level hype right out the gate. But this year, you're going to start off the bench and you have to earn your way into the starting lineup. Another adjustment that 2K made this year, if the guy that is starting ahead of you is a better overall than you, then it's only going to be harder for you to work your way into the starting lineup. So if you pick a team like, let's say the Grizzlies, for example, and you want to be the starting point guard, you're probably going to have to put a lot of work in to become the starting point guard because Ja Morant would be ahead of you. So you actually have to strategize when you pick your team. You got to make sure that the guy ahead of you isn't like a lot better than you. Now, when you first make your build, you have 3 options. 1, you can go straight to the city and start playing some park games. 2, you can go straight to MyCareer and play some NBA games. Or 3, you can learn about your My Player's history and path to the NBA with the completely optional flashback story called The Heart of the Dynasty. Now, like I said, the second that you make your build, you have access to the storyline. In this story, you can play 4 of your My Player's most iconic games before his NBA career, including a club league showcase game against a rival team, a high school state championship, a FIBA U19 World Cup, and an open run with some NBA players hosted by Jalen Brunson. But the only twist is, in that event, you actually have some sort of beef with an NBA player. And if you're curious, that player that you actually have beef with is Austin Reeves. Now, in order to progress through this storyline, you have to do all 4 of those games in the order that I said, starting with the club league showcase and ending with the open run with NBA players. Now, you might be wondering, like, what's the point of completing these games? Like, what do I get for it? When you complete each of these 4 games, you're going to get different rewards for every single game. Each game gives VC and its own set of unique rewards. For example, in the FIBA World Cup, you get a Team USA jersey, and in the final game, aka the open run with NBA players, you get a reward called Trash Talk Response. We don't know what that is yet. It can be a couple of things. 1, you can respond to people in NBA MyCareer games. It could be something you respond to park players with online. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think this reward could mean. It could mean a lot of things, but I'm hoping that it's like related to the city. This feature right here is a brand new one, and this feature is a brand new dynasty system. Now, the dynasty system is based completely on your team's success. It has nothing to do with you as a player. The only way you can get up in the dynasty system is by winning games as a team. So what 2K did, they put the 10 best teams of all time on this dynasty leaderboard. They have teams like the Golden State Warriors led by Stephen Curry. They have teams like LeBron James's Heat, but at that number 1 spot, and it should come by no surprise, Michael Jordan's Bulls. Once you pass Michael Jordan's Bulls, you become the greatest dynasty in NBA history, and that is going to be a pretty long road to get there because you're probably going to have to win 7 championships. Now, 2K said that the way that you go up in the dynasty rankings is by going on playoff runs, winning championships, etc. So basically, it's only team success. So let's say like you win the MVP and have the greatest season of all time. As a player, that will not affect you at all in the dynasty leaderboard. Now, 2K didn't say this or anything. I'm just theorizing. I'm guessing that if you switch teams, it's going to reset you on the dynasty leaderboard. So if you really want to climb in the rankings, I would recommend staying on one team. And we also got our first look at the brand new MyCareer screen. This is what it looks like right before you're about to play a MyCareer game. Speaking of MyCareer games, it was confirmed that key games will be returning, which means that you cannot skip the entire season. You are going to have to play a few games a season, but there is, unlike last year, way more control over what games you want to play and don't want to play. Now, the season is divided into 2 halves this year. In these 2 halves, you're going to meet with your coach and your general manager and select your personal goal. That personal goal is going to determine what key games you actually play. There are a lot of different goals to pick from, and each goal that you actually complete, you're going to unlock a brand new dynasty badge, which I'm going to talk more about in a second. For example, there's a goal called Ultimate Rival. If you can complete that goal, you're going to unlock a badge that allows every single teammate to start with Takeover, but it's only against rival teams. There's a a goal where you can try and win the NBA in-season championship. There's also a goal where you can focus on winning road games. There's so much variety in goals this year, and it's really too much to even go over. Personal goals that you have to pick from do determine on your build. So let's say you have like a high shooting build with no dunk. So if that's the case, you're going to get a lot of goals that are based on making maybe contested shots, for example. Let's say like you have a super high dunk on your build. Then you're going to get a lot of goals on dunking on other players. Another thing you might want to note, the goals are going to get harder and harder depending on the overall of your player. So if you're starting at like a 60 overall, the goals are going to be really easy. But if you're a 99, then they're going to be a little tough. I'm moving on to Dynasty badges. With each personal goal that you complete in key games, you are going to unlock a Dynasty badge permanently. Like, you cannot lose it once you complete the personal goal. Now, one thing that you do want to note, these Dynasty badges do not help you at all. They only help your teammates. And there are 18 total Dynasty badges you can unlock. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about is endorsements. Now, this was not verbally confirmed, but I looked at the trailer frame by frame, and I noticed that there was a scene where your MyPlayer meets with a Puma, I think it's like a Puma agency, if you want to call it that. The only thing he can really be doing is signing an endorsement, and endorsements have been in the game for a while, but it's been a really long time since there's been actual cutscenes for getting endorsements. Hopefully that means that endorsements do give you more VC, because every year they've lowered the VC count that you get from endorsements lower and lower and lower. Hopefully this year that you actually get a good amount of VC for endorsements. Now, another thing that I saw taking this trailer down frame by frame is an interview at practice. As you can see, your MyPlayer is sitting down with an interviewer of some sort. Now, this interview could just be for the story, but it could be that every time you go to team practice, you could do an interview, and maybe it'll help you get an endorsement. Maybe it'll give you points in a certain like mental category. I don't know the name for it. I know some of y'all are gonna know what I'm talking about, but like in interviews, when you respond, it gives you certain points towards like different categories. That could be what it is too. Now, another huge thing that was confirmed is you can play in FIBA games in the off season, which is a pretty big deal. I'm not gonna lie, that sounds like a lot of fun. Now, you're probably only gonna be able to play as Team USA, because your MyPlayer was born in Chicago. Now, in the offseason, you can play in a couple different things in FIBA. You can play in FIBA qualifiers. You can play in a FIBA tournament that you can invite NBA stars to play alongside you in. And I'm gonna guess that that means like any NBA star that you want. Like, you can probably invite LeBron maybe. And last but not least, highlight games. While completely optional, these highlight games are a great opportunity to witness either your MyPlayer breaking a record or participate in a jersey swap with another player. Now, in the trailer, they said a few of these players are like Victor Wembanyama, Jalen Brunson, and I'm sure there's a lot more. They just wanted to name a few. And like I said, these games are completely optional. Right before the game, they're going to give you in-game goals that you have to meet in order to actually do the jersey swap with the player. We don't really know what those goals are going to look like, but they're probably pretty tough, assuming that you literally swap jerseys with an NBA player. Now, if you can successfully complete the challenge and earn the jersey swap with that player, not only can you wear the jersey around the city, but you can also hang that jersey in your MyCourt. And yes, they finally confirmed that MyCourt is back for 2K25. Now, that pretty much wraps it up for everything that we got confirmed about the brand new MyCareer storyline. It sounds like a really good story this year. I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on it in the comments. Let me know down below what y'all think. Like I said, this video did take a while to put together, so if you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you could like and sub to the channel. It would really help my channel out. Make sure to turn on notice so that you never miss another 2K25 news video, but that's pretty much it, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video.